Welcome back to Level 6 Math. I'm Mr. C with our Saxon Math Lesson 77. Today we're going to be finding unstated information in fraction problems. Now, this is a lesson that I both really love and really hate. I love it because in the real world, when we do math problems, it's figuring out the problem that's usually the hardest thing. It's understanding what people want you to solve and being able to put that in a logical way so you can write an equation or do an equation in your head. We're going to do a lot of that today. Is this new stuff? Nope, it's not. It's mostly review stuff, but it is tricky. This is something that a lot of students struggle with. And so pay attention. We'll go through a few examples. We'll go through the ways we used to do this, and we'll talk about new ways of thinking about things. All right, so here's the problem. Often fractional part statements contain more information than what's directly stated. So think about this. If we say 3/4 of the 28 students in the class are boys, it's directly telling us how many are boys. It's saying how many are in the class, 28. How many are boys, 3/4. So what it's also telling us is indirectly, if 3/4 are boys, then we subtract 3/4 from 4/4. There's 4 total parts, and we get 1/4 is what? Girls, all right? So we can get that indirectly. So if we diagram this statement, we can draw this out, and we'll do that here on the next slide. Then we can answer the question. 3/4 of the 28 students are boys. So let's make a picture that shows where all the students are. So we're going to take this, and this is what we're going to look for. How many parts is the class divided? Well, we already know 4 parts because it's 3/4. How many students are in each part? Well, if we divide 28 by 4, we know 7 will be in each part. How many parts are boys? 3. How many boys are in the class? 3 times 7 is 21, so we already know that. How many parts are girls? 1. How many girls are in the class? 1 part times 7 is 7. So we already can do this in our head, but sometimes it's really good to see it. And I want you to see it on the slide because when you solve this, whether it's for a homework assignment or for a real world problem, you're going to try to picture it in your mind, and it's going to make it a lot easier to solve. All right, so we're breaking it up into 4 groups. We've got 4 parts. 1/4 are girls, 3/4 are boys. So we can now answer all those problems. I also want to remind you, another way to do this is when you get a problem like this, especially if it's coming up like on an end of year standardized assessment or something in your homework, if you just can convert what you read in text into a formula or into numbers, that often helps. So if we say, what is 3/4 of means multiply, of 28, now we just have a math problem. Remember, we've already learned how to make this easier by using canceling. 28 and 4 is the same as 7/1, right? So all we have to do is do 7 times 3, and we get 21/1. So what's 3/4 of 28? 21. We can solve that really easy now. But again, we're doing this so that you can visualize it. And that's really helpful for a lot of people. So we've got, in part A, the denominator of the fraction indicates the class is divided into 4 parts. So that's the denominator, the bottom one. Says we have 4 parts. And it's important to distinguish the number of parts. So if there's 28, each part has 7. That's why we drew it out. So in each of the 4 parts, there's 7 students. The numerator of the fraction says that 3 parts are boys. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 of the 4 parts are boys, so that means only 1 part is girls because you subtract 3/4 from 4/4 or a whole. So the whole class is 4/4. The boy part is 3/4, so we get 1 part. And multiply that by 7, and we get 7 girls. All right, let's try another example. This time we'll do it with marbles because we know in the real world, all we care about is class size and marbles, right? For whatever reason, that's where we get a lot of our examples. Oh, and dice. We really care about rolling, but they're not called dice, they're called number cubes. So that's what we care about. All right, we've got 30 marbles in a bag. If 1 marble is drawn from the bag, what's the probability of drawing is 2/5. All right, so if we pull 1 out, we've got 30, but we're dividing it into parts, 5 parts, we can assume that there's either 5 colors or they're in groups of something up to 5. So how many marbles are red? How many are not red? So we can just do 2/5 of 30 again, and then we can just say, what's 2/5 of 30? 2 times 30 is 60 divided by 5 is 12. It's probably 12. The complement of drawing a red marble is drawing a not red marble. Those two things equal a whole. So what's the probability of drawing a not red marble? That'd be the opposite of 2/5, or the opposite. So 5/5 minus 2/5 is 3/5. Let's draw this out now. All right. So first, the probability of drawing red is 2/5. So 2/5 of the 30 are red. 2/5 times 30, we can cancel and make that, because the common factor here is 5. So 6 over 1. 2 times 6 is 12. Perfect. So that's how we get A. There's 12 red marbles. 12 of the 30 marbles are red, so that means if we subtract 12 from the total, then the stuff we didn't know directly was how many marbles are not red. We don't know what colors those are, we just know they're not red. And there's 18 of those, because 30 subtract 12 is 18. The probability of drawing a not red marble is 18 over 30. So now if we want a probability, we could do that by 18 over 30 and reduce to 3/5. Or we could take 5/5, the whole, subtract 2/5, which are red, and get 3/5. So that might be easier than finding the total and then subtracting that. The sum of the probabilities of an event is, and this complement is 1, so 2/5 plus 3/5 equals 1. That's the same as saying 12 plus 18 equals 30, right? Because that's the total number of marbles. That's it. Now, some of you are going to get really frustrated with this assignment because it's tricky. Even myself, when we did this last one with the marbles and the way they state things, it's hard to figure out what they're looking for. So this is a good one. You might be a little frustrated, but wrestle through it, do your best, and the more you practice this, the easier it'll get. All right, good luck. Bye-bye.